Hi folks, John O'Leary from Horse Problems Australia, coming to you with the weekly podcast. This week it's a result of several letters that I've had recently about people trying to give shots or needles to their horses at home, and they're having a lot of trouble, especially with unbroken ones, weanlings, yearlings, trying to give horses their tetanus or strangles shots, and they're generally doing it by trying to inject horses in the neck. Now, a lot of vets recommend that, especially to amateur owners, that they inject into the necks of their horses, being the safest place. In the back of the vet's mind, I think a lot of them are thinking about, when they say safe, they're probably meaning not being kicked, so therefore stay up the front of the horse and don't try and put these things into the rear end of the horse, which is fair enough. But because of the tremendous damage done to young stock and unbroken horses, and the carry-over psychological damage that people suffer in trying to handle their young horses, caused by putting injections into the necks of horses, which hurts far more, much more painful, and especially when people just go home and it hasn't been explained properly where to put them in the neck. If you were putting an injection into the neck of a horse, which we never do, it is in this area, it would be in this area here, where I've got the whiteboard marker, where there's the maximum amount of muscle, at least to absorb the injection and to be less painful. But a lot of people try and put them into here, and there's just nothing there, and it just hurts like anything. And especially young horses that haven't built up a lot of muscle, etc. Are you smooching, are you? Now, the other problem is that there are big dangers in the neck, because this black line here is normally where the jugular vein runs, and if you put chemicals into that, you can end up with a massive, and I mean massive, injection abscess growing in the neck. And I've actually seen horses that after about 10 days have been bent around like that because of the massive swelling here, and then the day after, on one particular horse, blew a hole clean out of the neck the size of my fist where it erupted. So, but it's mainly from a training point of view that I am commenting here today. Therefore, we inject horses in the rear end. And you'll see here that I've got a triangle and a circle here, and that's roughly where we insert needles, and far less painful. And if you do it the right way, the horse hardly knows that it's coming. Now, we'll handle tetanus and strangle shots, the smaller injections, later, but we're going to simulate it here today on poor old Dulcie here, who's going to have another injection incidentally, because you can see this hematoma here on the side of her rump, which is getting bigger and bigger and is fluid, and she's obviously run into a tree or something, and it's been several days and not getting any better. So we are going to, I'm going to investigate that in a moment and attempt to drain it if it is fluid. Everything must be sterile, of course, and out of packets. And the penicillin needle is a fairly heavy gauge one, and another reason why there would be massive pain to put these into the necks of horses, and why ongoing problems with training these young horses. They become paranoid, and frightened of you, and it just gets in the way of training for a long time, which is not conducive to especially amateur owners owning horses. So methylated spirits for you. I've got something else, and the secret here is to not mess around, to stay way forward in case a horse cow kicks you, to get the to get your penicillin into your, depending on the dose rate, normally 15 or 20 mil. I'm going to use saline here, and if we're putting 15 mil in, which is there, always draw back and take as much as you like, 20, 25 mil, and then let it run back up into the bottle to be getting rid of the air bubbles a fair bit, and then you've only got a little bit to get rid of. Give it a few flicks and get rid of the air bubbles that may be there. Now, take your needle off there. You can either hit once, twice with the back of the hand if you've got a very touchy horse and you want to take it by surprise, or in the case of this one here, I'll just put it in. Now, it hurts horses far more and more chance of you getting kicked if you try and just slowly push and be soft about it to horses. So just be aggressive and just throw the needle in. Far better for the horse and less pain. So there it is, as simple as that. Too quick for her to react, too quick to kick, and then still standing back here, especially with penicillin because it hurts when it goes in. Only put it in slowly into the horse. Don't rush it in, and then take the needle out, give it a couple of rubs, and all done. So, you're a good girl, aren't you? Hey? What's Dad doing to you? Hey? He's a terrible boy, isn't he? Hey? You're having a bad day today, aren't you? You're going to have a worse one now. So that's injecting into the rump of the horse and taking safety into account. Now, if you had a dangerous horse at all, you would blindfold this eye to take away the kick out of it, the chance of kick, or you might use various leg restraints. With a real bad horse, I'll just simply pull this leg up to a collar rope and end the problem totally. But I wouldn't have the horse tied. Over. We've just edited this here, so we've got to cut what was just back behind. Over. Okay, with a particularly dangerous horse that definitely would kick you, we would either put a blindfold on the horse to stop that side of the brain telling that back leg to kick you, or we might use a variety of some of my leg restraints to disable the horse if you had a real dangerous one, with the top of the scale being to pull up this back leg to a collar rope, but never tie it up. But that's another story, and that's on my leg restraints DVD. So don't go there unless you watch that.